There we go. Hi. Hi, Sita.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Angela.
Hi.
Hey, Angela.
Rita. Hello.
Hi.
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 Kevin's back behind the computer, hiding. He's hiding.
How's everyone's nights going so far, right?
Good.
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 I just got home from school.
Great. Jess, where are you joining
We're in
us?
the middle
Where do you
of a
go to school?
hurricane.
Yes, we are in the middle of a hurricane.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
No.
Actually, it's just raining. But it is just south of us. The Eye of Michael is south of us right now.
Wow.
My goodness.
I haven't been watching, so I don't know. So it's by Atlanta now. Is that right, Linda?
South. It's way south.
Okay.
Hi, Andrea.
Hello.
Close to Macon
It's close to Macon, Georgia.
Okay.
Okay.
right now.
My sister-in-law is stationed at Warner Robins, and they were making everybody go home earlier today.
Oh, yeah.
My family lives only an hour and a half from Atlanta.
Wow. So,
Sita. Well, you have to send him to our house on the 21st.
You know what? I should get my dad to come.
Yeah.
He is one who will make the drive. He lives in Oxford, Alabama.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a little bit away, I guess. I have to get my bearings on, how
But,
close everything.
as soon as you leave out of Atlanta and cross into Alabama, you hit Heflin, and the next town over is Oxford.
Okay. Not too far.
well, it's
I will be
9 o'clock, and I think we're going to go ahead and start.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself.
And we've got this on recording, but before you mute yourself, and I'm not sure if Kristen's going to get on tonight. She had just some challenges with her baby's not feeling so good. So welcome to the weekly team training. And why don't we do a one-word check-in? I don't know if you've ever done a one-word check-in tonight, but just one word that kind of sums up how you're feeling. So I'll begin. My name's Angela, and my one-word check-in for tonight is enthusiastic.
I'm Tara. I guess I'll go next since nobody else is.
You too.
I'm feeling excited for this month.
I'm Jess, and I'm excited.
I'll go Linda, inspired.
Ooh, inspired. Good one, Linda. I'm Sita, and I am enthusiastic, ready to learn. Oh, no.
I think I missed the first half, but I'm Jill and determined.
We're doing a one-word check-in, Kristen.
Okay, awesome. Is it my turn?
I think it's your turn.
Okay, hey everyone, I'm Kristen. We're doing one word for the rest of the year.
No, just one word for tonight. Your one-word check-in. How you're feeling now?
Oh,
Tired. No.
yeah, tired. I might have my kids have hand, foot, mouth, and bronchitis.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry.
Dina,
it's
did
not
you
fun.
go? Did everyone go? So we'll get started now. So, Kristen and I are going to talk tonight about objections, handling objections. And it's one of my favorite subjects. And so, one thing that we really need to understand is when someone is throwing up an objection and telling us no, that no really is usually more of a not now, or that they don't know enough. And so, we have to realize that we really are consultants and not salespeople. And so we're really here as consultants to really ask the right questions, to really figure out the underlying thing that is causing them to step back or to push back. And so one thing Kristen and I had talked about, that we want you to kind of really come up with your most challenging objections. So start thinking about that. But as consultants, one of the best ways to answer an objection really is actually with more of a question. Because when we do this, we're really trying to dig deep in to figure out really what's actually going on. So many times when people are telling us that, they don't have, any time, that they don't have enough money, they don't know enough people, or don't know enough people with money, or, that they're not like us, or they're not a salesperson, or, perhaps they just don't have enough confidence in themselves. Really, the underlying thing going on there is there's some fear of the unknown, of what's actually going on. And so it's so important many times to answer those objections just simply with another question. And so there's a saying that we really need to be more interested than interesting, really just compassionately reaching out to people and really listening to what they have to say. Really trying to understand where they're coming from. Because what we have here with Arbonne is really just a vehicle that can get them anywhere they want to go. Whether that is having more time or having more money. But what they are coming back with us with many objections usually is just a fear of not knowing or understanding what we're doing. And so is there anyone that has a objection that they hear a lot or would like to share?
It's usually the cost, or people are like, let me think about it and I'll wait, and or I'll just hit you up later about it. I need to start saving. And then usually that's them just kind of tapering off and then never hitting me up to know more about it when they're ready.
Mm-hmm. And so
Are you talking specifically to the?
Yeah, the detox in specific.
Okay. So you're talking more of a product with the detox. So they already know how much it costs. Is that correct? Yeah. And so, there's really two types of objections, right? There's objections on the business side, and then there's objections on the product side. And for example, an objection on the product side, we really need to get them to see the value in what we're doing, right? I tell people, you can either pay for your health now or you can pay for your health later. And so it's really getting people to see the value of what we're doing. Kristen, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, and something to the detox, because what we're leading with a lot of the girls on our team is really the detox to get them to have great results, and then having preferred clients turn into consultants from that. So we're finding 8 detoxers each month, especially since Jess is new and launching this month. And when you kind of hit people, what I would recommend is you guys not to leave at the $300 pricing. So first you want to make sure you're having a conversation versus just giving them all of the information. And if you're doing that, then great. So you want to kind of let them know, here's what it is, here's what it's about, here's what it's going to do for you. Wait for them to come to you and say, oh, this is great, but how much does it cost? So then get some sort of like conversation going. Then they're going to say, okay, what does it cost? Now here's something different you can do. I didn't outline this in the Building Your Business with Nutrition document that a lot of us are using on our team page. But if you're hitting that wall over and over, it's a really good time to stop and say, okay, if I'm doing the same thing over and over and I'm expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. So let me go to my upline, which you're doing now, which is great, and find out what can I do different. So I would say, instead of just hitting them with the 300, I would maybe ask another question here and say, here's a great way to handle the price objection. When they ask you how much does it cost, something you could say back is, well, it really depends on what you're looking to accomplish. It might cost nothing if it's not a right fit for you. So you've already deflected them, right? You haven't really even tried to sell them. You're kind of actually saying it might not even be for you because, you got to see what your goals are. So I would ask them from there, tell me about what your goal would be from this plan. The more you can get them to talk about what they're hopeful for, what they really want to, envision. Do they want to see themselves in that size 4 dress from a 10? Or do they really want to feel better? Do they have gut issues? Do you know this person has IBS, Crohn's, or someone has chronic fatigue? Find out what is their pain before you go in with the price. Then when you let them know the cost, but start small and go big. So once, say someone is like, man, I need to lose 15 pounds, like a freshman 15 killed me in college or whatever it is, right? Find what that pain point is and then say, okay, this plan can absolutely help you do that. Here's how the products are going to help you do that. Here's and talk a little bit more about the plan specifically for what their need is so they can kind of be affirmed that they're making the right decision. And then you can say, tell me about, so now that we know that the plan can help you, right? Like I just told you, I've seen so many clients lose weight, maybe someone had IBS. Just since you don't have testimonies yet, you can always borrow other people's testimonies. If you're new on the call here and you don't have clients yet, borrow other people's experiences, speak life to that, to your potential clients and say, I've seen so many people lose X amount of pounds by following this plan. If that's your goal, I definitely think we can get that, that goal to happen for you if we really, work with each other on this. And then I'd say, tell me a little bit about what your day looks like. What does your meals look like right now? So again, ask more questions. Are you eating out? Do you ever have any coffee or caffeinated beverage? Do you go to Starbucks ever? Are you going to Chipotle and Panera? Do you eat out? Are you spending any money on alcohol? What's your routine and habits? Okay, so try to get some more information out of them. And then as you start to uncover and find out that they're eating out, maybe occasionally 3 times a week, maybe they're stopping at coffee shops, they go to restaurants. Now you have the trigger that you needed to find to say, hey, okay, it sounds like you're doing a lot of things that aren't serving your body well, right? You're putting a lot of inflammatory and acid forming foods in. You're spending a lot of money if you think about it, right? You can never leave Panera under $20. So with this plan, you're going to trade old habits. You're going to stop doing all of those things you just told me you do. And you're going to take all that money and you're going to transfer it to new habits. So you're not really going to be spending more. You're probably going to be saving money because these meals that I'm going to give you with Arbonne, they're really like $2.50 a shake, which is like unheard of. And the beverages are $1.60 a serving, which you can't get at Starbucks. So when you break it down, you're going to probably save money throughout the month. And it's really only about $8.80 a day. Does that sound like something that would be worth an investment to you? And so that's how you want to get them to see, like, I need this and I can afford this. It's $266 up front with a $29 fee. Now this month, and isn't it free to sign up as a PC?
It is. I mean, when you buy the set, the $29 fee is waived.
Okay, so that's the month, you guys. If you are looking to get your 8 detoxers to get into qual, oh my gosh, you have to do it this month. Like, that's not even a question. November, you're not going to have that $29 fee waived. So you have to do it this month and let them know. And this is where you guys are going to hit your numbers because you're going to create urgency. You have to be excited for them. You have to like jump out of the phone and say, Victoria, oh my God, this is a month to detox because you're going to save $30 and it's 40% off. If you want to wait 3 more weeks, you're going to have to spend an extra $30 and I can't help you there. So why don't we get you started this week? It's only $8.88 a day. It's 40% off and it's truly going to save you money. This is the best investment I ever made in my health. I know you're absolutely going to love it. And if you don't have great results and you don't hit your goal, like you told me what you wanted to happen from this, we'll make sure we get your money back. Can we get you started with an order? So that's how you want to go in to get the order at the end and just make the ask and say, can I help you get started with an order? What are your thoughts on this? And then you're going to have the conversation from there. But I hope that that's helpful to kind of ask more questions first, find out their goal, find out what they already do, and then you can show them how they can afford and do Arbonne.
Mm-hmm.
And Jess, did you think that Arbonne was a little bit expensive at first?
Yeah, actually, I was like, once I first heard the price, I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Like I don't necessarily have that right now. And then I got talked into it and I decided something that really sold me was the fact that you literally can spend in less than 2 weeks over $200, over $300 worth of fast food. And things that you buy daily, like snacks that don't necessarily make you feel better. They just kind of quench your craving at the second. And so
Yeah.
I was really sold on that because it's true. And so I've always been wanting to find something that would help me eat better and feel better. And this definitely works. So that's why I am doing it again.
Mm-hmm. And so this is a gem, you guys, that's really worked in my business for years. And that's what they call feel, felt, found. And so Jess, you could just sincerely tell your friends, you know what, you think this is expensive. I so understand how you feel.
Yeah.
I felt the same way. But what I found is that it's changed my life. It's given me more energy and, I'm
definitely
doing it again. So
mm-hmm.
feel, felt, found works in so many different ways. And we can go over that, with the business and whatnot. So,
yeah.
Let us know just how that new getting into questions and feel, felt, found works for you. You might have to get on the phone with people. It might not be something you can kind of have a whole conversation and text about. If you're texting someone, you can always say, hey, I always joke about this. I say, hey, I'm going to get carpal tunnel if I try to text all of this. Do you have 5 minutes?
Wait, no, I say that. I'm always like, do you want to FaceTime? Because it's so much to text. And then I started copying and pasting certain messages because I'm like, you know what? I explained it to this person. I'm just going to transfer this message over because, man.
Yeah, it gets to be a lot. But if you can get on the phone, that's always better.
Yeah, for sure.
And that question about pricing goes for the business as well. So I think we can all use the same concept of what we just talked about. If someone thinks the $79, $49 fee plus the $500 investment, or this month they get free sign up for $500 of product, or typically it's $49 reduced for a set. But regardless, it's usually around $300 to start the business or $300 to do the detox. And you can always kind of just ask more questions, uncover what their real goal is, find out their need, and then fill it with the solution of how Arbonne can fix that.
And so I brought a big bottle of Tylenol here to show you because it's actually, I can't think of his name right now, but he's a network marketing guru. He says that so many people in network marketing are trying to give someone a Tylenol. Like, here, take a Tylenol. Take a Tylenol. You need a Tylenol. And they don't have a headache. And so, with Arbonne, many times we don't know their need and we're trying to give them something. We are not understanding, really where they're coming from. And so some of the most, important things that we can do when we are sharing Arbonne, whether it's the product or the business opportunity, is really asking a lot of questions, asking people, what they want out of life. What do they love about their job? What do they hate about their job? We're really trying to find that pain point. We're trying to find that need. What would they like to improve about their health? Like Kristen said, really finding, who they are and sincerely and compassionately listening. So we can then take what they just said and give it back to them.
Yep.
So are there some other objections that you would have? Does anyone have one they'd like to share?
Everyone should be jumping out because you guys are making so many asks. You're getting told no all the time, I'm sure.
I remember someone asking me, isn't Arbonne a scam? And I was like, excuse me? Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Oh, I'm glad you brought that one up. Ange, what would you say?
I love that one because, one, if they say, is this a scam or is this a pyramid scheme? They're usually probably talking from experience. So my first thing that I would say is, what, Jess, tell me a little bit more about that. And then the best thing you can do is be quiet. You have to just be quiet and let them talk. Oh, well, actually, I was in one of these things before and didn't make any money. And, and so, again, that's where you want to, continue to ask a question. And it's a good thing to say then, well, if I could show you through this vehicle how to build a strong 6-figure income, would you be interested to really hear about what we're doing? because Arbonne, you know, is legal. It is a viable business. And so one of the best things you can ask people is, can you tell me a little bit more about that? What do you mean by that? And then just be quiet.
Yeah, it's funny. You'll find that if you actually turn a question back around and ask someone, oh, you know, what do you consider a pyramid scheme? If you ask them what they think it is, they kind of get tripped up because they don't even really know themselves technically what a pyramid scheme is. They just think everything's a pyramid that's in network marketing. So to get them to answer their own question is really funny sometimes. So you could try that. And then you could also, I think it's just smart I think everyone in Arbonne and should definitely know a couple facts about this company that I didn't even know. Actually, a girl on Sephra's team looked this up on our website, and I didn't even know this. We're a part of, and these are things you want to know. These are things you can kind of say back to somebody when you ask them their story. Tell me more about what you mean. You can say, well, here's what I know about Arbonne. You know, we can't speak to other companies, and you never want to bash other companies, but you want to say, here's what I know about Arbonne, and here's what I know is good about this company. And you can even, you know, fact check this on the website. Is that we're a part of the Better Business Bureau. We're rated on there, which is a great, like, legitimate organization to know that we're rated by. We wouldn't be illegal if we were on there. We're also a member of the Direct Selling Association, which is an association that's created to govern and monitor companies like us to make sure we're operating ethically. We're among the top 50 companies on there, and we're growing every year. And we're also been in business for almost 40 years, which is a big thing because pyramid schemes typically are shut down within the first several years of operating. So,
and I think one of the real keys when we're handling objections is to really kind of, you know, take a step back and really ask ourselves, are we being defensive, or are we really compassionately trying to understand where they're coming from? Because, you know, really, Arbonne isn't for everyone. And so when we're sharing the detox, or we're sharing the products, or we're sharing the business opportunity, we're just really, we just really compassionately want to reach out and really understand if this is a need that can be, you know, satisfy someone. And so if we're getting defensive, we're coming from the wrong point of view. And so, just some food for thought.
Yeah. So make sure when you're sharing things, you're sharing it in a sense that, hey, you just want to show that you believe in this, that you know this is to be true. You want to know where they're coming from, and that, hey, just to help you kind of, you know, learn a little bit more about pyramids and about, here's what I know about Arbonne, that you're sharing that just from a place of, you know, pure confidence. Honestly, the more conviction you have that you know what you know, and clearly this person doesn't know it, I think it's great to say, here's how this company is incredible, and here's how we're legitimate. So these are good things for people to definitely to know, because you know, it just legitimizes what their concern is, and it should ease their concern to the degree where you can then ask another question and say, okay, hey, now that, you know, I shared some of the information for you, you know, what would be the next thing holding you back from getting started? Because it's the first objection I find with the business is usually the fluff one. It's usually just the like smoke and mirrors type thing. It's not real. It's just their first thing to say, whoa, I feel a little threatened. You're kind of asking me something I'm not sure about yet. Let me just like say whatever comes to my head. And they're like, oh, it's a pyramid. But then when you ask and you peel back the layers and say, hey, okay, now that I answered that question, like, what would be the next thing holding you back? What more information do you need to help you make a decision about this? That's when you can really get to the meat of it.
So, and you know, one thing too is get comfortable really loving silence. You know, when you ask those questions back, to really wait to help them really even self-identify themselves what is their true objection.
Yeah, that's a good one. I used to always try to fill that quiet space when I was new in Arbonne, and I would ask questions, and then I would answer the questions I would ask. See, like, that was great silence. We needed that for a second. Anybody else have any objections I wanted to go over with some examples of? And truly, you guys, with objections, see, I just answered my own question. But Carolina, were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say that I really love objections because it will get me into having a conversation with somebody versus the worst case for me is like if somebody is not answering, like there's like nothing, I'm not getting anything back, you know?
Yeah.
And then so what do you do in that case? Like, do you revisit with somebody? Like if you don't hear anything back, do you revisit, you know, a month or two?
I follow up with people over and over and over and over until I get an answer. And I used to be like more gracious with it, I guess, where I used to like, you know, put a reminder a month from now, 3 months from now. I don't do that. If it's someone I really want in my business, like it's a real rock star or someone who has influence, someone who I know if they start saying they're using Arbonne, everyone's going to want to know about it. I don't give up on that person. I will let them know, hey, I know we get busy. I'm going to continue to check in with you. You keep coming to mind until I hear otherwise. You know, I'm still thinking of you and I want you to know. Like, I will check in weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cecilia Stoll, who's the top income earner with Arbonne, someone had to call her 5 times before she even answered the phone. So how many of us have dropped off after maybe the second phone call or the third phone call or the fourth phone call? You know, maybe that 5th phone call, that the phone is really pretty heavy because you think, oh boy. But she's the top income earner in Arbonne, somebody. And after that 4th phone call, she's like, oh man, she's going to keep calling. So I think I better use the sample. So after the 4th phone call, she's like, she's not going to give up. I'm going to use the sample. She used the sample and she's like, holy smoke, this stuff is amazing. And so when we keep calling, it's telling people too that we have something of value. And so in Green Bay, they said with social media and everything now, sometimes it's between 4 to 14 follow-ups. And I just, you know, look at now my 12th year here in Arbonne. I now have people reaching out to me saying, I'm ready. And so, you know, people are watching what we're doing and if we're still around.
Yeah.
So what?
Go ahead.
So what do you do when you've reached out, you've offered the fit kit, you've offered, like, there's absolutely no obligation, you know, just come out to an event. Can I send you a video? You've offered a fit kit and they're like, no, I'm good.
So they won't come and they won't even listen or hear. They won't tune into Zoom.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would walk away from that, honestly. If someone's not even open to try, it's not for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my gut tells me.
And two, I mean, I think the verbiage that Cecilia Stoll recommends that we use that says, you know, listen, I know this is probably not for you, but it would mean the world to me if you would just give me 15 to 20 minutes so I could really share with you what I'm doing in case you know of someone this could be a fit for. I know I've called you 4 or 5 times, but this is so important to me. And I know you're connected. You know, would you be open? And after I said that and they weren't responsive, you know, there's 7 billion people on the earth, on the planet, you know, find someone else, right? But you know, the lingo that I just used is very powerful because we don't use, it would mean the world to me very often. And to tell someone, listen, I know this isn't for you. Do you know what? I've sponsored a lot of people that I've told them, I know this isn't for you. Because when I've said that, it's actually taken the defense down where they can actually go, oh, she doesn't think it's for me. Let me lean in case I know someone this is a fit for. And so that's powerful in itself. I know it's almost 9:30. Are there any other, you know, objections that you want to ask?
I got another one.
Sure.
I have to ask my husband.
Oh, I love that one. So I would say, you know what, I totally respect that, because I myself, have been married 17 years, and, I still check in with my husband on many things. And so I think that's a great idea. So today's Thursday, by Saturday, would you think you've had enough time to really check back with your husband? Would that work with you? So they say always make an appointment from an appointment, or you've just given a speech. So really leverage your time. And when you're, talking with someone, find out when is a good time to follow up with them, because then you're, shortening that time to, follow back up with them.
Yeah, and to kind of sum it all up here, you guys, with what we're talking about with objections, and where Ange just led this to show you guys that really the point of what we're doing when it comes to exposures with Arbonne, when it's either asking for sample products, asking to host, whatever it is, whatever your ask is looking like, the whole point of what we're doing is not to make the ask to close the deal. And if we can really kind of accept that right now and know that our first ask, we don't have to be so nervous and anxious and what am I going to say and how am I going to close? Because you guys, if we realize we're not going to make the sale on these initial asks, whether it's to join you or buy from you, and you take that pressure off of yourself, one, they're going to sense that you're not desperate, and you're going to sound a lot more likable, and you're going to sound energetic and attractive, right? We want to be attractive, not scary. So when you take that pressure off yourself, you're going to sound different. You're going to attract people better. And then two, you're going to realize that these are going to be more enjoyable conversations when the pressure is off, because you're just looking to have a conversation and get to the next conversation. You want to have these people willing to talk to you again, right? And so you want to schedule those next exposures from that first exposure. And so if your ask is business-wise, hey, I'd love for you to take a look at what I'm doing part-time. I absolutely love it. I get this might not be a fit for you. You probably know someone who's looking for what I have, Bill. Let's jump on. When can we jump on a call to talk for a few minutes? I would love to share more with you. It'd mean the world to me if I could share with you a little bit more about what I'm doing, here, and then give them your dates or whatever. So you're looking to get to that next exposure, not saying, you'd be great, here's what I do, and then have them say, oh, let me think about it and get back to you. That's not a conversation, right? You just get then given a speech because there's no next exposure. So same with the products, you guys, you're asking for, you're making an ask, you're setting an exposure to get their thoughts. Everything is always wanting to hear people's opinions and making sure you don't give information without having an exposure set up from that one. So
yeah, and just really honoring their thoughts and their feelings, right? I just had a text in from this gal. She says, at this time, I really don't think it's for me. I'm looking to get out of the sales profession, but thanks for understanding. And we've been going back and forth, right? And so I just said, you know what, I so understand. But it would mean the world to me if you could really think of anyone else that this could potentially be a fit for. And I said, also, let me know what you're looking for. I'd love to help, see if I know of a place to position you as well, because she's looking to get out of something. And so if this isn't for someone, ask them if, it would mean the world to you if they would, think of one or two people that this could potentially be a fit for. And so, and I always look to help those around me too, in terms of when I meet up with someone, how can I help them? What are they doing professionally? Are they a painter? Are they looking to connect, with someone, internationally? I don't know what that is, but really getting to understand and know who you're meeting with and just seeing how you can help them, because it's that giver's gain philosophy too, right? So
guys, never underestimate the referral. If you guys follow Catherine Terracina, she is about to become a national vice president, the second youngest one in the United States, I believe. I think she's 20. She just got referred one of the strongest legs in her business was a referral from the one friend she knew at Ole Miss, Mississippi. And her one friend there said, absolutely, I'm never going to sell Arbonne with you. And so Catherine said, okay, well, you need to send me at least one person who will. And so the one friend she referred her is an ex-Division I athlete. She works at ADP now. She's like 23. And she went region fall in her 60 days. So you never know. So definitely ask for those referrals. You never know who they can lead you to.
Right.
Great, guys.
Well, great.
Well, thanks everyone for joining today. Next week we'll send out an invite for the topic. I have to look at the calendar. There's 5 Wednesdays this month, so that kind of threw me off with the trainings because normally I only have 4 prepared.
We're doing personal development next week.
Next week's personal development, and then the week after that one then is when we have the guest speaker. She's a new regional vice president, Mia. It's going to be sharing her story and her tips on making asks and sponsoring business partners. So be ready for personal growth next week, and then Mia the following week, and then we'll probably not gather the 31st because it's Halloween and it's close day. So we shall be busy.
And I just have one quick announcement. This Sunday at my home at 2:30, if you're in the Alexandria, Virginia area, one of my consultants on my team, he's a Kamagra self-defense instructor. So he's going to be doing a self-defense class here at my home, and then we're going to have a nutrition 30-day presentation afterwards. So anyone's welcome to come this Sunday at my home, 2:30.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ange. Good to see you.
Thanks,
everyone.
have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.